A big week. The PGA Championship is in Charlotte this week, and if you're in town and can stop by the SBJ headquarters, please do. Next week is another big week in New York City with SBJ's Force event focusing on sports and entertainment, music, culture, and fashion. And then, yes, the Sports Business Awards on Wednesday, May 21st. Still time to register, and let me know if you have any questions. And this is your morning Buzzcast for Monday, May 12th. I'm Abe Madcourt, and yes, the Savannah Bananas had another big hit, a sellout crowd of 70,000 for their game in Nashville at Nissan Stadium on Saturday night. This is the third football stadium the Bananas have sold out this year, one of the top sports business stories of the summer. Let's get right into it. Some big news about a sports business veteran as Verizon sponsorship leader Nick Kelly is leaving to start his own agency. Yes, Nick Kelly will launch Encore Sports and Entertainment today on Monday, which will be based in Manhattan. The agency will only service brands and offer consulting capabilities, including strategy on sponsorship, negotiation, activation, and measurement. Encore Sports and Entertainment will not be a property sales agency. Nick Kelly is well known in sports marketing circles. He's been a vice president of partnership at Verizon since 2023. He's an SBJ 40 Under 40 Hall of Famer. Prior to Verizon, he was at Tepper Sports and Entertainment right here in Charlotte. He spent 6 years at Anheuser-Busch InBev, where he ran their sports marketing. He told SBJ's Terry Lefton that he made the decision to go out on his own earlier this year, and he'd been thinking about it for some time. Nick Kelly would not name the clients that Encore Sports and Entertainment will open with, and there is no word yet on his successor at Verizon, although it will be an external hire. Nick Kelly going out on his own with Encore Sports and Entertainment. Let's move on. A very busy week in sports business as the media companies hold their upfronts this week in New York City, where they will make their very public pitch about their plans for the upcoming year and why advertisers should buy on their platforms. It's all a big act of trying to get as many advertising dollars as possible, and live sports has been an increasingly major part of the upfronts. Today, on Monday, NBC Universal will outline its plans, and of course, they have an incredible 2026 lined up: the Super Bowl, the NBA All-Star Game, the Olympics, and much more. Fox will hold its upfront at the Hammerstein Ballroom. Amazon will be at the Beacon Theater. Tuesday, we will see Disney and ESPN. Warner Brothers Discovery on Wednesday at Madison Square Garden, and Netflix on Wednesday afternoon, and then YouTube closes that evening at Lincoln Center Wednesday. So again, a big week. And with this big week, CNBC reports that ESPN has chosen a name for its upcoming streaming service, and it will be called, yes, ESPN. Many wondered if the company would stick with the brand name, and ESPN's Jimmy Pitaro reportedly decided to keep things simple. You know, Pitaro talks frequently about the difficulty of discoverability and how cluttered the streaming world has become with so many different brands. So this is a way to keep it simple and consistent. So the ESPN streaming product called ESPN is expected to cost about $25 to $30 a month, and of course will feature a lot of new additions and enhancements and content around the product. And as we noted, the name and other details will be discussed by Pitaro and others at a presentation at Disney's Upfront on Tuesday. Also this week, we had the NFL announcing its schedule for 2025 for the upcoming season. That's become a huge event on its own. The NFL's broadcast partners will announce select games ahead of the full schedule release on Wednesday. So it'll be a drip drip, drip mentality. You'll see NBC drop some games on The Today Show, ESPN talk about some games on Good Morning America, and CBS talking about its coverage on CBS This Morning. NFL Network's coverage of the full schedule release is a 3-hour show on Wednesday. ESPN, of course, has a 2-hour primetime special on Wednesday. So a lot going on this week with the media upfronts and the schedule release for the NFL. In a big story that my colleagues have been all over for weeks, SBJ reported that 2 more high-ranking sports industry executives have surfaced as possibilities for the position of CEO of PGA Tour Enterprises. Sources across both golf and the NFL said the tour is continuing to show interest in the NFL's Brian Rolapp and former Ticketmaster chairman Jared Smith. So they are in the mix that the PGA Tour is looking at. Now, we're not saying that these 2 are finalists or candidates or likely to be in the final mix, just that they are very much on the radar of the search committee. Now, Brian Rolapp has been with the NFL since 2003 in a variety of senior media roles, very well respected. Jared Smith, he joined Ticketmaster in 2003. He eventually became president and CEO of Ticketmaster as part of Live Nation. He has been at the Alterra Mountain Company, a skiing conglomerate that owns a number of ski resorts. So again, those 2 on the radar of the search committee. SBJ previously reported that NASCAR Commissioner Steve Phelps and the head of TaylorMade Golf, CEO David Abels, were also in the mix for the role. There's no timetable, but this search has had a lot of people's interest and attention and is very much being talked about. So keep your eye on the search for the new CEO of PGA Tour Enterprises. The NHL playoffs, man, they have been just wild. Like the NBA playoffs, but NHL playoff hockey, wow. Even without the big historic NHL markets in the playoffs, Commissioner Gary Bettman has to be feeling quite good about the postseason. And over the weekend, he also talked about possible expansion. And he said that while the NHL isn't planning to launch a formal expansion process, he noted the league is listening to markets who have interest in landing a team. He specifically referenced the Atlanta market and said that the 2 previous failures in that city to sustain an NHL team would have no bearing on possible expansion in the future. It is known that there are 2 potential ownership groups looking to pitch Atlanta to the NHL, and Bettman acknowledged the Atlanta market is far different than when the Atlanta Flames and the Thrashers left. He noted the city is much different, it's much bigger, the overall fan base has changed, corporate support is very, very deep and strong. So Bettman was quite bullish on Atlanta. He also said that he is optimistic a new collective bargaining agreement will be done long before the September 2026 expiration of the current deal. And I believe him. I have never seen the relationship between the NHL and the NHLPA as positive or as healthy as I see it today. I give a lot of credit to Bettman and the new NHLPA leader, Marty Walsh, who has brought a real spirit of collaboration to the relationship and the dynamic. This negotiation will be far, far more productive and positive than baseball's negotiations also in 2026. And let's end with this. 2 athletic director openings are getting a lot of talk and attention. First, an interesting name has emerged in the University of Maryland search for a new athletic director, Michael Yormark. He comes from Rock Nation Sports. He is the president there. He has interviewed for the job. He is, of course, the brother of Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark. And Michael Yormark has a ton of team and agency experience. He's very connected in sports and business and culture, and he would bring a revenue-driven mindset to the role like his brother. Meanwhile, the other open role is at Stanford, where the search firm Elevate and its search committee is still setting up a structure and a model in terms of what type of athletic director they are looking for. And it's fit with football general manager Andrew Luck. Sources have said that Andrew Luck doesn't want to be the athletic director. He's willing to report to the next athletic director, assuming Andrew Luck is comfortable with the choice. I will just say, the Stanford AD job, a tough job. Certainly, great location, great resources, great benefits, but a lot of major, powerful voices who all have very, very strong opinions about how athletics should be run. So the Stanford AD job, certainly not for the faint of heart. And so that is your morning Buzzcast for Monday, May 12th. I'm Abe Madcore. Thanks for listening to the Buzzcast. Stay healthy, be good to each other. I'll speak to you tomorrow.